notice how you're completely ignoring what I'm saying.
Because it's irrelevant. It has nothing to do
But
with
it's not
me.
irrelevant. How do we know that you weren't best friends with Epstein?
Well, did Epstein say I was best friends with him?
What's your real name? There he is. There's the tough guy. How you doing tonight?
All right, let's start with all the copes here. Number 1, I voted for Trump. Number 2, Trump started multiple scams. Number 3, he's very complicit in hiding Epstein's cover-ups.
Okay, why did you vote for a guy that did multiple scams?
Because I voted policy over morality, so your morality arguments are relevant.
Okay, so then what's your complaint with me?
My complaint with you is that you seem to give Trump way too much credit.
In what way? How many times do you watch my show?
To be fair, I actually am a fan of yours. I've listened to tons of your debates, but I take very much of recent issue with your takes on Epstein and stuff.
Okay, so like, how often do you watch me?
I haven't watched you recently over the last month, but I've probably watched you every other week.
So you take umbrage with my recent takes on Trump Epstein when you're admitting you haven't listened to me for the past month.
I know your take on Epstein. Every time I've tried to talk to you in regards to Epstein, you play your 1-minute quip.
So what's my take?
Your take with Epstein is you don't like the way he's handled the Epstein files so far, but you don't think that he's complicit in any criminal activities.
Yes. I don't have proof that he's complicit in criminal activities. Give me your proof.
My proof is I don't have proof. My proof would be the preponderance of evidence. The same proof that you would have on Biden.
So, and what's the preponderance of evidence? What is it that Trump did? What's the crime he did?
Okay, let's just go through some of these things. I don't have my notes out right now, but I have a whole page of notes.
Tell me that you could go through anything you want, but tell me what the crime you're alleging that he did was.
Okay, at minimum, let's just say, like, to be the most generous, I would say that Trump is, at this point, complicit in a cover-up.
Of what crimes?
Of the crimes of trafficking children and the justice for the victims and the people going to jail for it.
Okay, so the FBI currently has evidence that specific people traffic children. Trump knows of this evidence and is refusing to allow it out.
As of an hour ago, there were around 12,000 files. There's multiple conspirators. They had evidence for a search warrant, and they did not pursue further action against these people.
Okay, show me the evidence.
Considered to be conspirators.
Go ahead.
There was 12,000 files that were just now accidentally released.
Show me somewhere in the. So your argument is you're complaining about me because files just broke an hour ago while I was streaming that I haven't seen, and that somehow makes me a bad person.
No. I thought that was the most relevant to my argument. Given.
Okay, so then we could dispense of that. Next.
What do you mean?
We could dispense of your criticism for me for not knowing these files that dropped an hour ago.
No, I think that your criticism should be in regards to the preponderance of evidence regarding Trump.
The preponderance of evidence.
Not the co-conspirators, but Trump in particular.
The preponderance of evidence I have is I outline the most likely scenarios of what I think Trump's doing, and I don't think that necessarily means he's complicit in a crime. I said that probably what he's been made available by the FBI. Do you believe, yes or no, that the FBI used Epstein as an asset?
Yes.
I don't believe that the FBI held on evidence to incriminating themselves.
I think they did.
Okay, proof?
They got rid of it.
Right, which would mean they didn't hold on to the evidence incriminating themselves.
I genuinely, I can't know for certain, but I'm going off of probability that, yeah, they probably.
But you just said you thought they got rid of it.
I thought they did get rid of it, but that doesn't mean I know they got rid of it.
Would the preponderance of evidence, in your opinion, be that they got rid of it or not?
I'd say they probably got rid of it.
Okay, then why is Trump at fault?
I think Trump's at fault because he's called it a hoax. I think Trump's at fault because.
Well, no, wait. That's different. I've said that. I've criticized how Trump's handled it. The only way that Trump would be complicit in a cover-up of the crime is if he's been shown evidence of this crime and he is actively covering it up. If the evidence isn't there because the FBI destroyed it, how could he cover it up if he hasn't seen it?
Well, if he was complicit in the crime, then he would know that those crimes existed. He wouldn't need that evidence.
But that's begging the question. You assume he is complicit in the crime, therefore he must know about it. But the way that he's complicit in the crime is that he knows about it and is covering it up. That's cyclical. You can't you can't have your accusation be the proof. And when I say, okay, what's proof of your accusation? Be like, well, the accusation.
Well, I have an entire page of notes. I'd have to get my notes out and everything to debate, to be fair in my own argument. But like, once you know a certain amount of things, it's hard in hindsight to explain each thing.
Well, no, I don't. Well, if you're talking about each specific action Trump made, maybe.
Yeah, like I think there's a strong case in terms of probability that.
But Trump... you have to give me something other than, well, I have notes, but I don't have them.
Okay, so or like something in regards to like.
Your argument is that Trump. I've already said Trump's handled this very badly. You seem to go a step further. Your claim is Trump knows that there were crimes, and he's intentionally like, no, cover this up.
Well, we know that Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein are convicted of crimes that are involved in child trafficking, correct?
That's true.
Okay.
They were convicted. So how's Trump covering that up?
We know that there's co-conspirators as of an hour ago.
Okay, well then you can't criticize me for what was. You can't criticize me for what you're alleging broke an hour ago while I was streaming and didn't see.
Okay.
So how could you criticize me for that and saying you've seen the coverage and you're disappointed?
Okay, my coverage is the fact that you're giving him too much benefit of doubt and his morality.
What benefit of the doubt am I giving him when I said it's probably the worst political blunder I've ever seen?
I agree that it's the worst political blunder you've ever seen, but I still think if you had to choose between Biden and Trump in morality terms, you would choose Trump.
Maybe, but it's irrelevant to me. I voted on policy. I think Trump cheated on his wife. That's shitty. If I was voting on pure morality, I'd vote fucking Jimmy Carter or something who's dog shit, right? I wasn't voting on morality. Would you say that Trump's more moral or less moral than Biden?
Certainly less moral, even though I think Biden is.
Why? Because of the Epstein files?
Epstein files.
Wouldn't Biden have had access to the exact same files?
No, I agree that Biden also is probably complicit in some weird activities given.
Okay, so then it's a wash on Epstein.
Ashley Biden diary.
It's a wash on Epstein. Both had access to files. Both covered it up according to you. Okay, next. Why is Trump more immoral than Biden?
The difference between saying nothing about it and then saying you're going to do something about it and never do anything about it, then gaslighting your entire audience, saying that they're not. I
don't know that that's necessarily different in covering up the crime. If your argument is both of them are aware of these crimes and one said before he was aware, I'm going to expose it, and now that he's aware isn't, and the other just covered it up, that's both covering it up.
I know, but one's attacking, like one's gaslighting to the extreme, one's saying nothing. I think there's a different,
I don't think it speaks to their morality whatsoever. I think that covering up sex crimes of children when you have proof is immoral. The one guy saying, trust me, bro, there's nothing there. And the other guy saying, I'm not going to say anything about it. Both of them are actively covering up. It's that act that's worse than their words.
But when you call it a hoax, then you're disregarding the victims that have been you know what I mean? That's definitely not fair.
Is there a chance you're wrong?
In terms of what?
And the chance that Trump has personally seen 10 co-conspirators and is actively covering it up?
I'd have to go over my notes again to come to
the
conclusion of that.
When did you make these notes?
It was months ago.
But you said the proof just came out an hour ago.
Yeah, this is just evidence to my preponderance of evidence. Like this is
okay. So this evidence seems to be the smoking gun. 10 co-conspirators that Donald Trump actively covered up for.
I don't know if it's 10 in particular, but I do know there's at least a few. Les Wexner's one of them.
Okay, Les Wexner's. What does this evidence suggest about Les Wexner?
That he was complicit in activities with Epstein.
In what way? In what way, though? That's what I'm asking.
I'd have to read the files, like I said, by case.
Then why would you bring that up? But notes. You were like, I've seen the evidence. I've seen the proof.
Yes, I agree. I have seen the proof, but just because I can't recall at 12:51 at night from months ago doesn't mean that I'm not correct in my preponderance of evidence.
Well, again, you haven't presented any evidence other than say I've seen shit, and I'm like, what? Well, it's in my notes, and I don't remember.
My whole issue was a general question in terms of Trump's morality. It wasn't just in regards.
No, that wasn't that. You've already said. Did you know that Trump was an immoral person when you voted for him?
Yeah, I thought he was I thought he was.
Okay.
To be fair, I agree. I agree with all this. My only issue with you is that you disregard the Epstein with a 1-minute clip that you that you
No,
clipped from like
what
6
I
months
do
ago.
is people like you want to say Epstein, 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 Epstein. I'm like, okay, well, what do you have new on it? Well, I've seen some shit. Okay,
Well,
what?
hey, I'll be
Well,
glad
I
to
don't
call
have
back
my
in. Hey,
notes, but trust
I'll
me, I've seen. So I get tired of dealing with people like you that constantly just wanted to say, well, what about Epstein? I'm like, well, I handled it so poorly. Yeah, but what about Epstein? Right, I did like 12 hours of show about how poor. But Epstein? So eventually I got tired of people like you. And my guess is, do you think Mossad had something to do with it?
undoubtedly, yeah.
So you were probably like, it's the Jews. It's Epstein. That's probably the shit you were saying over and over.
Well, do you think there's evidence to that,
There
or
you
you
have
think
it.
it's just
And so I
no?
got tired of dealing with people like you that were bringing nothing new to the
What do
table
you mean?
that
Do you
just
think
kept
that
saying,
there's evidence to that?
Jews, Trump, Epstein, Jews, Trump, Epstein. And I got tired of dealing with you. I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to say, show me the evidence. You call in, you're like, I don't have it. I have notes somewhere.
I do have notes.
Okay.
Let me call back in, and we can go over each point.
So we could talk about it again. We could talk about it again. How many hours do I spend on this before it's sufficient for you?
The reason why I called in was morality on Trump, and Epstein was one of my supporting factors for that reason. It had nothing
Where have
to do
I ever
with
said
going
Trump
down
is a
this rabbit
moral
hole in
person?
regards to Epstein.
Show
but
me.
I will.
Show me. If your criticism to me is that I don't say that Trump's immoral, show me where I've ever said that.
I don't think that. I think that you give him too much morality in terms of his patheticness.
Where?
I would argue he's way worse than Hunter Biden, way worse than Biden, way worse than any recent Democrat I can possibly think
explain.
of.
Okay, so let's do Biden. Let's do Biden specifically. In your estimation, both covered up that Jews controlled Epstein to sexually traffic kids, and they both covered up the evidence. Okay.
I want you to answer a quick question. Do you think that there's sufficient evidence to believe the Jews were complicit in that?
No.
That's
next.
We'll go over that.
What's your evidence? What's your evidence?
I promise.
What's your evidence?
Well, Jeffrey Epstein's relationship with the former prime minister.
Okay, he had a relationship with the former prime minister.
Strong relationship.
Okay, he had a strong. Let's say they were best men at each other's wedding. That proves that Israel was controlling Epstein to sexually traffic children.
No, there's a million connections other than this. It's not just that one connection. I'm just going to
give me another example.
I have to pull out my notes.
You got to have your notes. You got to have those notes. It's such an important issue.
This is what me to go down to rabbit hole.
It's such an important issue to you. So let's get this straight. Your issue is this.
For you to
this is such an important issue. It must be the most important issue because you watched me. You asked me to the point of you've seen me for hours talk about the problems I had with Trump and the Epstein files. Yet you still kept bringing it up in the Jews. Right? Then you mention again on this show, you agree with everything I'm saying. I just give Trump too much credit because I won't talk about Epstein and the Jews. And I'm like, well, what's your proof? And you're like, well, if it was me and this was the issue that I was so hyper-focused on, I'd at least be able to recall some of the information.
Okay,
at least.
Well, wait, pause. I called in months ago in regards to this.
Really? So you've had months to continue to ruminate on it?
No. I just randomly got back on this show. And you started talking about Epstein again, so I started talking about it as well. I have my conclusions drawn from evidence from months ago, just because I haven't.
You just don't remember what they are.
No, but I can call back in. We can do.
I don't need you to call back in. You got your opportunity now. You got your opportunity now.
Evidence.
I'm listening to the evidence right now. Where are your notes?
All right, give me a minute.
Any bets on if Jews also killed Charlie Kirk to this guy?
The answer is no, really.
Really? You don't think the Jews were involved in that?
You put me in all these boxes, but it's just...
That's true, I do.
I'm too rational. Sorry.
It sounds it.
All right, these are just summaries of the fact.
We're hyper-focused on Jews...
No,
had Epstein traffic.
That's the
right. I promise we'll give you an opportunity to talk about everything you want. But let's start on issue one: that the Jewish people, the Israeli government, was controlling Epstein to have him traffic children. You have proof of that.
I think that there was collaboration between intel agencies in regards.
Just show me the proof. You got your notes now. Just show me what you have.
I'll just read what I have. I have more notes.
Give me the section on Israel.
I don't have it separated. We'll just go through everything I've written.
No. This isn't just let you talk for 50 minutes. You made a specific accusation. Thumb through it. Find the sections you have in Israel. We'll start there. Then we can move on to other stuff.
Okay, we'll find something.
Okay. Now, what I know is that Epstein's father-in-law had connections to Israeli intelligence. And then Epstein was buddies with someone in Israeli government. That's all I know of, though. And I don't think either of those are proof.
I didn't say proof. I said that I would go off.
You said the preponderance of evidence suggested.
Evidence isn't proof.
Okay, but just saying this guy knew two Israelis, if that's all you have as far as evidence, that's weak. Wait,
we can't pretend like just being best buddies with the prime minister is a normal activity.
I agree.
We can't pretend that there were victims that described the cameras inside of his estate as if it was they were recording for blackmail purposes.
Okay.
We can't pretend like there wasn't sufficient evidence that both intel agencies don't want this to be like clearly no one wants. What
I don't understand. So literally, it's what you're trying to tell me is I believe that there was filming for blackmail, and because Epstein was friends with a high-level person in the Israeli government, I therefore believe the Israeli government was telling Epstein to record him having sex with people having sex with underagers.
All right, let's just go over some of this schizo stuff I wrote down.
Israel.
What did you ask me? I'll answer your question.
Israel. Is that the connection you have? He was connected to someone in the Israeli government, and because you believe that there's evidence that he was recording people having sex, this is sufficient proof to you, circumstantial proof to you, that the Israeli government was instructing Jeffrey Epstein to film people having sex with underagers to blackmail them.
If you want to be like really generalized, like if you want to really generalize it, then yeah.
But that's it. That's the only proof you have that Israel was connected.
No, that's like an extraordinarily simplistic view on it, but yeah.
But I'm asking then for the additional proof that Israel was connected.
Okay, here we go. If
this isn't you talking about Israel, I'm uninterested.
It's about Zionism. And it's about billionaire Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, and the profuse Zionist, disappears from yacht 1 week after being accused of being a Mossad spy for multiple journalists. Okay. One of these journalists was the Pulitzer Prize winner, Seymour Hersh, one of the best journalists alive at the time. The official reason that he died is that he was peeing off of a yacht and had a heart attack. During his funeral on Mount of Olives in Israel, multiple Israeli officials, including the current prime minister and Israeli president, attended.
Okay,
so he had extreme connections. Ghislaine Maxwell, mind you, not just Jeffrey Epstein. So we're going
his wife. That's what I said. His father-in-law was connected to the Israeli government. Got it.
And himself.
Okay, he had friends with someone that was in the Israeli government. Got it.
He was a multi-billionaire who we still cannot track or understand as to why he is.
I don't understand why that's proof that Israel's involved. But
no,
go ahead.
We're just saying, like, where did all this power come from? That's just a general question. Okay, so we got.
Did you mention that Robert Maxwell also worked for British intelligence, French intelligence, and Soviet intelligence?
Yeah, he wasn't a profuse patriot for those countries, was he?
Well, define profuse. In
regard to Zionism.
Define profuse.
Dedicated.
So how do you? So you have evidence that he wasn't dedicated for the French, the British, and the Soviets.
I'd have to go down. You're asking me to go down all these billion rabbit holes.
You're the one making
my
the claim.
General notes at 1 o'clock in the morning.
You're making the claim.
That's a fair thing to do at all. Like, you can sit here and poke holes in these little generalized statements.
You're making the claim.
General evidence.
Huh? You're making the claim.
Yeah, I know, but you can't just keep picking apart every little. Like,
yes, that's what. That's exactly. Isn't that exactly what you're doing? You're picking apart every little claim of the official story. Isn't that what you're doing?
Yeah, but you have to, and this could be one of the. Okay, let's just say this: if this is true, if Trump is complicit, is this not one of the biggest cover-ups in all of U.S. history?
It depends on what he's complicit in covering up.
Let's just say bare minimum. He knows that there was child trafficking.
And he's intentionally covering up for people that he knows. He's intentionally covering up for people that otherwise would be arrested. He's seen the proof that, like, Bob Smith over here had sex with a kid, and he's intentionally covering it up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's terrible.
How severe would that be?
That's very bad.
Yeah. So, like, in a sense.
So let's see your proof.
No, in something that's severe, there has to be lots of details, as you say there should be. And I'm giving you general details right now, given the evidence that we were given. But I can't give you all the details.
Your first
right
comment
now,
about Israel. You just have what I already knew. The Epstein was connected to people in Israel. Okay. Well, therefore,
I still have more notes, but sure.
Give me the notes on the connection to Israel. That's what I'm asking.
Okay, Les Wexner, a profuse Zionist as well, owned Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, etc., was Jeffrey Epstein's #1 client. He was completely tied to the Israeli government. Now, if you want me to go through the evidence of that, I'd have to find more notes.
Let's assume that's true. And how does that? How does it? So this dude,
okay,
Wexner.
Wait, here's some proof. Here's some proof of the Wexner Foundation stated goals are all centered around Israeli Zionism.
So Epstein's goals, is that what you said?
No, Les Wexner.
Okay, let's assume
so everyone. Let's just say everybody around him. Like I could keep going probably if I have more notes, which I probably do.
So far we got father-in-law was an intelligence agency for several places, including Mossad. He was friends with a guy. He was friends with the guy in the Israeli government. One of his friends and client, Les Wexner, really liked Israel.
Who is a multi-billionaire.
He's rich and he likes Israel. Okay.
Okay, and their stated goals were to help Israel. The Wexner Foundation.
Wexner wants to help Israel. Got it.
Yeah. The Wexner Foundation paid GOP messenger Frank Luntz to recommend that the U.S. should assassinate Saddam Hussein in 2003.
But again, all of this, like, do you think I love America?
No, I think that you are a good person. I really don't.
But that's what I'm asking. You think I love America? And that I care about the interests of America?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, if I'm connected to someone that does something heinous, would you say, isn't it suspicious that Rob Noer talked oftentimes about loving America? I think the American government was involved.
Well, if you had multiple like high-ranking if you had the president and stuff at your funeral or at your father-in-law's funeral, if you had multiple billionaire connections of people that were profuse Zionists, I mean, if you had victims that collaborated that were also like backed up the statements saying that there clearly was a blackmail ring.
But again, that's not. Listen,
you know what I mean?
It could. Is this a possibility that Epstein had friends that were in the Israeli government, that Les Wexner really liked Israel, right, and that they were fuckfaces that were blackmailing people for their own interests?
What interests do you think those would be?
Well, let's see. Do you think money would be an interest? To get a bunch of money by saying, hey, rich guy, you just fucked a kid. Now give me money or we're going to release this tape. The same interest that the Israeli government would have. That you can make people do shit if you have evidence of them doing something really shitty.
Repeat that, sorry. You cut out.
The same reason. What incentive would the Israeli government have to have these blackmail tapes?
I mean, blackmail over world powerful people with something as heinous as
okay, so why would you have to be a member of a government for that blackmail to be useful? Couldn't you also be the member of a corporation, or couldn't you be an individual that could also use blackmail to empower and enrich yourself?
Yeah, but if you became mysteriously wealthy, I would assume that it probably came from something that
but again, but you're just putting multiple things in that aren't leading to the conclusion you're saying. You're like, well, he got wealthy. Okay, well, fine. Like how does that prove the Israeli government did anything?
I know, but
how do you know it wasn't the British government? How do you know it wasn't the United States government? How do you know it wasn't the Soviet government?
Well, I don't think he had no connections to those as opposed to the Israeli government.
You don't think he had connections to the U.S. government?
Do what?
You don't think he had connections to the U.S. government?
I think he did.
Okay, then how do you know Israel was involved and it wasn't the U.S. government?
I think it was collaboration.
But how do you know that? How can you you're just assuming?
Well, wait. Let me show you. Let me tell you some evidence in regards to how he's connected to the U.S. government. Okay.
But this is okay. That's fine. But what does this have to do with Israel?
I didn't say this was all about Israel. Israel's the problem.
You said that the preponderance of evidence showed that Israel was basically Complicit. They were telling Epstein to film this shit and then using it. I'm unconvinced.
I don't think it was solely Israel. I think it was Israel and the FBI.
But it's just your hunch on it. You don't have any evidence.
No, some of this evidence can point to that conclusion, or it could.
No, I don't think that this, like, again, like
you can't. We can't pretend like this is all normal and all the stuff I just read is like totally like everyday stuff.
I don't think that anyone that's super wealthy, like, you could do this with any billionaire. You think it's normal that someone like Elon Musk has in his phone number the president of France? Yeah, probably if you're a billionaire. Sure.
Well, okay, but was Jeffrey Epstein convicted of being something earlier in the 2000s?
In 2008, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm saying that, like, there was people that still hung out with him profusely after that.
That's true.
And there's also rumors and or evidence that Trump, in specific emails, met with him post 2008.
Show me.
They were in the files prior.
When?
They said that he met in one of them. I don't know who it was, but they were asking if Jeffrey Epstein was going to be on his cabinet.
Was this the infamous he spent Thanksgiving? He spent Thanksgiving his first year in the White House with Epstein?
I don't recall. I don't remember.
That's exactly. The fact. Because if you believe that, I got a fucking bridge to sell you. If you believe that somehow he ditched all the press in the world and somehow snuck out for no reason to risk while he's president his first Thanksgiving at the White House to spend with Epstein.
No, I there's multiple emails in regards to that.
Show me one
email. It wasn't just your Thanksgiving.
Show me an email that suggests that Donald Trump.
I can't pull it up right now. I'm on this call.
I don't believe you. I think that this is something that heavily would have been brought up by Democrats. I don't believe you.
No, there was two instances. It was the one you're citing, and another.
That's obvious bullshit.
And I would wait. Also, just to get a decent idea of what you know on this case, what was the reason? Do you think Trump parted ways with Epstein because he was being weird with someone in his Mar-a-Lago estate? Like, do you actually believe that was legitimate reason?
I think that the evidence seems to suggest that Trump eventually had a falling out with Epstein, in part because he didn't like the behaviors he was doing.
But he contradicted himself saying that prior to.
Do you believe victim Virginia Giuffre that said that Trump had nothing to do with it?
In her case, yeah.
Oh, so it's just the other case. Can you name me the person other than the one that recanted her testimony later that's accused Trump?
Well, we have very little victims that have come forward to speak about any of this.
So no victims. You're just assuming that Trump was involved with this.
When the whole world, like, let's just say it is true. When the entire FBI, Mossad and everything is being backed, the world's most powerful people have blackmail and everything. Mm-hmm. Why in what world would you come forward in that case? This is peak power.
I mean, that's true. And I don't deny that. And obviously you would expect people like Trump, the people that would be like blaming other people would be the people you'd want to look at, right?
Repeat that, sorry.
That's true if that was true. And if you're someone like, you would want to look at the people like Trump that are blaming other people, right? Like the people that are loudest saying, it was Clinton, it was them. Those are maybe people you'd want to look at, right?
No, yeah, I think I think this is bipartisan.
Like you.
In what way?
Like you're the exact type of person. I think that maybe you had something to do with molesting underagers. That's why you call into a show like this and throw the scent off yourself by accusing other people because you're involved.
How?
What do you mean how? Isn't that exactly what the type of person that would be involved would do?
Yeah, but like what kind of logic is this?
What do you mean, what kind of logic? The same logic that you're employing. I just asked, don't you think we should look at people that are throwing the scent off, accusing other people? You said yes, like you. That's what you're doing, correct?
So wait, are you saying I'm accusing Trump of doing that?
I'm saying that you said that anyone that's accusing someone else is someone that we should look at with suspicion. Do you admit that you're accusing other people?
No, I'm saying that people that, of course, I'd be adamant, passionate about something like this. Why would I?
Well, wait. Are you accusing other people?
Are we comparing this to Trump, though?
I'm asking you if you're accusing other people.
Yeah.
And did you not say that those accusing others are people we should be looking at with skepticism?
Like in Congress and stuff, sure.
Why? So it has to just be a congressperson? Trump wasn't in Congress, ever.
Was Trump not best friends with Epstein as per Epstein's
I
own
don't know.
account?
Maybe
Like,
you were.
This is a false analogy.
It's not a false analogy. We don't know anything about you.
Wait. Given the interviews that were given to Epstein, did Epstein himself not say that him and Trump were best friends for years?
It doesn't matter. What's your name? Maybe
it doesn't matter. Wait. How does that not matter?
Because it doesn't take away from the accusation towards you.
If you were best friends with,
I notice how you're completely ignoring what I'm saying.
Because it's irrelevant. It has nothing to do
But
with
it's not irrelevant. How do we know that you weren't best friends with Epstein?
Well, did Epstein say I was best friends with him?
What's your real name?
Alex.
Last name? I don't know. Yeah. I'll have to look through. I think I saw something in those files that released an hour ago about co-conspirators. It's in my notes somewhere.